All right, my name is Bill Hemming. I am the Vice President of Safety with PTG Logistics, and we handle the complete everyday safety, hopefully, of the fleet.
Okay, great. And by the way, everybody just jump in if you got a question, but I'll start off. Bill, before you started using the Infinit-I product, did you have any kind of a perception about what online training was, or any concerns about doing it online?
Only concerns I had about online training was how you were going to get the drivers to do it. Once we had tablets for our logging, for our onboard logging stuff, it made it easy. So it was all we had to do was just add it to it, because we already had service and everything going to those tablets. So we actually added Infinit-I so the drivers can get to it.
Did the drivers take on to it pretty quick?
Depended on the driver.
Yeah.
At about 50% really bought in right off the start. The other ones need a little coaxing. But we implemented a couple of things that kind of forced them to make sure they do it. So we made it part of their bonus program. So it's part of their quarterly bonus program that they stay up on it. They get assigned one every 2 weeks. And every third week, I get notification on who's behind. And then emails go out to managers. And if they get too far behind, I cancel fuel cards and shut them down and make them sit in the office and do it until they've done it. And they don't get paid to do that. So then when they're done, then we send them down the road.
Good. What's the primary usage of the product? Use it for orientation, or just safety training, or corrective action? Or
yes, yes, and yes.
Okay.
They get the orientation package. They do it. That's their first assignment. Then after that, we do continue their regular training. And then we also do it for recurrent training. If somebody's having issues, we'll assign training to individuals. And so we use it for pretty much all that.
I don't know if I asked earlier, do you have company drivers, independent contractors, both?
Both.
Both?
Both.
Is it mandatory for your
Both.
independent contractors?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Jump in if anybody's got questions.
I got one, Steve.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
On orientation, basically what's in your orientation presentation?
It's the Infinit-I orientation.
Oh, okay.
And then whatever the on-site driver goes through with that individual customer. We're a dedicated fleet service, so depending on the customer, it depends on the training that they get. So they get the Infinit-I orientation, and then whatever else they get at that local facility. So each place could be different depending on what they're doing.
Did you have to sell it to the ownership?
The ownership wanted it.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, the ownership's the one that actually went and got it. We were noticing there was an issue with keeping everybody on the same page. And because of that, we wanted something that was uniform, that everybody was going to be doing the same thing. With east of the Mississippi, we've got about 15 different locations, from Florida to New York and from Alabama to Virginia. So we're all over the place. So we wanted something that was, everybody was getting the same stuff. So the video training was actually the perfect way to get that.
From an accident and compliance standpoint, what did you see prior to and then?
We're down, our accidents are down about 2/3 in 2 years since we've been using it. A lot of that also has to do with, we've had managers buy into this, and when they see something that's good in videos, they'll cover it in talks with the drivers. So we've got the managers, the local managers actually bought into the program, which actually made it successful because they actually talk about it on top of seeing a video. So it's actually pretty good.
So it's a culture top down.
Yeah, pretty much. And it has to be, because if it's not going to work. They've got to believe in it. They've got to want to do it. Anybody can sit and watch a video, answer a couple questions, and move on.
And what is your business? Do you see the drivers? Do they come to the terminal? Or?
They don't want to see me.
But I mean, do they?
They show up every day.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got an owner-operator set out in California. The manager out there sees them about once a week. Other than that, we see the guys 4 and 5 days a week.
And do you hold traditional kind of safety meetings?
Oh, yeah.
Or is everything through?
No,
protocol?
we do both. We do both. I hit every location twice a year, so about every 6 months. I also have a director of safety underneath me that hits them every 6 months. And then the managers catch them every week. And then they also hold monthly safety meetings at each location. So we do the Infinit-I on top of all that.
What were some of the comments or feedback that you've received from your drivers and or owner-operators since you implemented Infinit-I?
Our owner-operators actually came from one of the larger fleets in the country, being XPO. They said that it's some of the best stuff that they've had be put in front of them. We just started showing that about 3 months ago to them and making them do it, just like the rest of the fleet, and we've had actually good feedback. So we've actually talked about making it a weekly thing, doing a video every week.
Great. Any problems with implementation? Any non-tech savvy drivers saying they don't use the internet, or are there any issues like that?
We set up the tablet for them, so all they do is hit the button. Hit the button, and then it comes up to where, how we ended up doing it to make it user-friendly for the drivers, because some of those individuals, the older drivers, they've never used a computer. And so to actually make it easy for them, every driver is assigned a driver's number that controls their payroll, controls everything. They put it on all their paperwork. Their password, their username is their employee number. Then our password is the same for everybody. So there's no forgetting, and it's the company name, for God's sakes. It's PTG Logistics with no spaces, so you really can't forget it. So as long as they have internet or cell phone, they've got access to it.
That's it. How do you manage the program? Do you have group managers? Do you run it yourself, or who are your administrators?
Pretty much I get to report on who's lacking. That's a first thing on Monday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. That by 6:30 I've got it broken down by managers, and it goes to those locations, and then they get with the driver. The managers can also get in it, but I do it for the sole purpose. It's pretty much, it takes 10 minutes because it's an Excel spreadsheet, and I can cut and paste straight into Outlook, send the email. They know it gives name, it gives what time period, because we do them every 2 weeks, and it's easy. It's real simple.
And it's who hasn't done it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people who have done it aren't on the list.
Right.
Do you also use the customized portion of the program as well?
We have a little bit. I've not toyed in that, but our CEO toys in it quite often. I think it's just because he likes his face on the computer, but that's just mine. But yes, he does it all the time. So.
Do y'all make your own video, or?
We're talking about that. We're actually talking about making a driver inspection one. And I came from government, so I've spent 14 years as a DOT enforcement person. I was the person you didn't want to see. So I still have buddies who are. So I'm going to snag one of them and actually tape them going through an inspection and then narrate it later and then put it on there. So eventually we're going to do that, and then we're going to send it out to everybody through Infinit-I.
Do you make the decisions on what assignments are made when they are made? Is that your call? Or?
Myself and the director of safety. If he sees something, Mark Hoisington, who ran the safety department before me, if he sees something, he's got free reign to assign anything to anybody, and then as well as I do.
So he reacts to things.
Yes.
And puts the appropriate
Yep.
things out.
Is it the same for everybody, or if you got get somebody?
No, if we have drivers with issues, we can individually assign, and we'll do that. So they'll get
Top of a normal one?
on top of their normal one, yes. We don't change the normal one at all. So, and there have been guys who have been mandated to watch one a day. So for a week or two. Now, that's because they need the information.
But the normal one is two a month?
Yes, every other week. Yep.
2 a month.
Yep.
Are your employees notified of the necessary training?
They know. They know it's every 2 weeks. When we do orientation with them, they actually get a paper that tells them that they're every 2 weeks, that it's part of their bonus program, and that they're required to do it. It's not kept a secret. And when they were talking about, the attorney was talking about all the procedures and stuff they sign, well, they have to go through our procedures and they initial each procedure as they go down the page, and that's one of them that we make them initial, so.
Do they get an email, a text? How do they just know?
They actually, Infinit-I sends an email to every email address. However, they don't have email addresses put in the system. So they would if we put their email address in, because I get notification on all mine because in my profile I have an email address, so I get notification. But because they're being a driver, they don't have an actual email address, so they just know that it's every 2 weeks.
Perfect.
Weren't you saying that everybody in your company, regardless of
From the CEO down, it makes no difference. Everybody does it.
I think that's a great idea. That's how you get that culture made. Were there any surprises? Were you surprised it worked as well as it did, or?
Anytime you get stuff in front of people, I'm never surprised. But it's just getting them to once they start doing it. And you know what? I haven't seen one I didn't like. That's the funny thing. Coming from the enforcement side and knowing how important training is, anything that you can do to get something else in a different platform in front of them, other than me sitting in front of them and preaching to them, it's always better to have a different approach.